Ever pondered about the creation of websites? You're surely in good company. A multitude of us utilize websites routinely, but only a handful comprehend the enchantment occurring behind the curtain. That enchantment? It's termed as web development, the powerhouse driving the virtual world. It's an enthralling fusion of creativity and code that breathes life into websites. Web development is a knack that can be acquired by anyone. Absolutely, you too. It's all about grasping the cornerstones of the web and assembling them to build something astonishing. Be it virtual shops or personal blogs, web development is the linchpin. This video serves as your launching pad, an introductory guide to the fundamental steps of website creation. We'll be walking you through understanding the essentials of HTML, styling using CSS, incorporating interactivity with JavaScript, and finally making your website accessible to all through web hosting. Are you prepared to plunge into the thrilling realm of web development? Keep watching. To start building a website, you first need to understand HTML. HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language, is the foundational language used to structure content on the web. It's like the skeleton of a website. Every website you visit is built using HTML. It's the standard markup language that dictates how information is organized and displayed on a web page. Let's break it down a bit. An HTML document is structured with tags, elements, and attributes. These are the building blocks that make up a web page. Tags are used to define elements and are represented by angle brackets. For example, the tag is used to create a paragraph. Tags usually come in pairs, an opening tag and a closing tag. The closing tag has a forward slash before the tag name. Elements are defined by the start tag and the end tag with the content in between. So if we want to create a paragraph, we would write followed by our text and then /p to close it off. This entire structure is an element. Attributes are additional information about the element written within the start tag. They come in name-value pairs like name value. For instance, if we want to align our paragraph to the center, we would write it like this: P align as center. Now, if we take all these components and put them together, we have the basic structure of an HTML document. It starts with a doc-type HTML declaration followed by an opening tag and a closing /taml tag. Between these tags, we have the section, which contains information about the web page, and the section, which contains the actual content of the web page. Understanding HTML is like learning a new language, but once you get a hang of it, you'll be creating web pages in no time. Just remember, practice makes perfect. With a basic understanding of HTML, you are now ready to add style to your website with CSS. Now that we've got the structure, let's make it look good with CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, and it's the magic wand that transforms your bare-bones HTML into a captivating, visually appealing website. Think of CSS as the interior designer of your website, taking care of everything from colors and fonts to layout and spacing. So how does CSS work? Well, it styles your HTML elements by applying rules, which are made up of selectors and declarations. The selector identifies the HTML element you want to style, and the declaration defines how you want to style it. Let's take a simple example. Suppose you have a paragraph in your HTML, and you want to change its color to blue. In your CSS, you'd select the paragraph and then declare the color as blue. That's it. Your paragraph is now blue. But CSS can do so much more than just changing colors. You can use it to set the font size, line height, letter spacing, and even apply fancy effects like shadows and gradients. Want your headings to pop with a bold, large font? CSS has got you covered. Need your images to have rounded corners? CSS can do that too. CSS also takes care of the layout of your website. With properties like margin, padding, and positioning, you can control where each element sits on the page. You can center elements, align them to the right or left, or even stack them on top of each other. And let's not forget about responsiveness. With CSS, you can make your website look great on any device, from a large desktop monitor to a small mobile screen. By using media queries, you can apply different styles depending on the size of the user's screen. That's how you create a website that's not only beautiful but also user-friendly. To sum it all up, CSS is all about style. It brings your website to life with colors, fonts, and layouts. It makes your website responsive and user-friendly, and most importantly, it lets you express your creativity and make your website truly yours. With CSS, you can transform a basic HTML document into a stylish website. But to make it interactive, you need JavaScript. Ready to bring your website to life? Meet JavaScript. Now that we've covered the basics of HTML and CSS, it's time to dive into the exciting world of JavaScript. This is the language that adds that extra bit of sparkle to your website, making it interactive and engaging for your users. JavaScript is a powerful programming language that runs in the browser. It's the backbone of modern web interactivity. While HTML gives your website structure and CSS makes it look good, JavaScript is the one that makes your website feel alive. It's what allows your users to interact with your website in real time, without having to reload the page. Imagine a website without JavaScript. It would be like a movie without sound. Sure, you could still watch it, but would it be as enjoyable? Probably not. JavaScript allows your website to respond to user actions like clicking a button, filling out a form, or even just moving the mouse. But how does it work? Well, JavaScript uses something called events. An event could be anything from a mouse click to a key press to a page loading. When these events happen, JavaScript can respond with an event handler, which is just a fancy way of saying a bit of code that does something. This could be anything from popping up an alert box to changing the color of a button to animating a picture. But don't be daunted by the idea of writing code. JavaScript comes with a whole host of built-in functions and methods that make it easy to add interactivity to your website. It's like having a toolbox full of tools ready to help you create an interactive experience for your users. And the best part? JavaScript works seamlessly with HTML and CSS, meaning you can easily integrate it into your existing website design. It's like the cherry on top of your web development sundae. With JavaScript, you've added interactivity to your website, but to make your website live, you need web hosting. So stick around as we delve into the next exciting step in your web development journey. You've built your website, it's time to share it with the world. Web hosting, in essence, is the process of renting or buying space to house a website on the World Wide Web. It's like setting up a virtual shop where your website can reside and be accessible to people surfing the internet. Without hosting, your meticulously designed website would be like a shop without a street address. No one would be able to find it. Now let's delve into the steps to host a website. First things first, you need to choose a hosting provider. There are countless providers out there, each with their own plans and pricing. You'll want to consider factors like storage space, bandwidth, uptime guarantees, customer support, and of course price. Some popular providers are Bluehost, HostGator, and SiteGround, but the right one for you depends on your specific needs. Once you've chosen your hosting provider, the next step is to select a hosting plan. Do you need a shared hosting plan where your website shares server space with other sites, or a dedicated hosting plan where you have a server all to yourself? Shared hosting can be a cost-effective option for smaller sites, while dedicated hosting is better for larger sites with heavier traffic. Now, with a hosting provider and plan in hand, you're ready to upload your website files. Most hosting providers offer a control panel where you can manage your hosting account. Here, you'll find an option to upload files. Simply select your website files and hit the upload button. And just like that, your website is live. But remember, going live is just the beginning. You'll need to maintain your site, ensure it's secure, and keep it updated to provide the best experience for your visitors. Congratulations, you've just learned the basic steps to build and host a website. This might seem like a lot to take in at first, but with practice and patience, it becomes second nature. So, get out there, start hosting, and share your corner of the web with the world. Let's recap what you've learned today. We started off by introducing the fascinating world of web development. We then delved into the basics of HTML, the backbone of any web page, allowing you to structure your content effectively. Next, we explored the magic of CSS, transforming those basic HTML elements into aesthetically pleasing components. We discovered how to color, shape, and position our elements to create the perfect visual experience for our users. Then we ventured into the dynamic realm of JavaScript, where we learned to breathe life into our static pages, making them interactive and responsive. Finally, we covered the exciting process of going live with web hosting, turning your local project into a globally accessible website. So there you have it, a whistle-stop tour of web development from start to finish. Remember, practice makes perfect. So start building your own website today.